We're taking you live to Canberra now. We're listening here to the ACTU President Michele O'Neil. She's taking questions after we saw the Senate handling some industrial relations changes in the chamber today.
Making multi-billion-dollar profits, who are denying working people fairness and a chance for their wages to go up. So no, the bill is properly balanced. It only applies to labour hire companies where an agreement's in place. It doesn't apply to host companies that are small business. It's well constructed. There's areas we'd like to see it improve, but definitely we do not want to see it restricted as to who it applies to.
Crossbench senators say they really need more time given their resources and they want to hear from more people. These four provisions were not controversial for the entire of the Senate. They passed unanimously now and they actually come into effect before the reporting date. So it essentially was the vote for these four bills to have them come into effect earlier. So why not back the splitting of the bill so these not, I understand that the whole thing passed, but why not back the splitting of the bill so first responders and people suffering domestic violence have protections months ahead of when they otherwise would?
Well, because it leaves some workers behind. And also, if the whole bill was supported, it would not delay those workers getting those rights and conditions. So we support the changes that are included in those four bills, but they are not the only urgent matters that's part of this closing loopholes bill. They're just four parts of some really important other matters that aren't in there. And so what about gig workers that are dying on our roads because they don't have the most basic conditions? What about industrial manslaughter laws that mean that workers who are being killed at work, that their families don't have basic justice to hold to account those people responsible? What about casual workers that aren't really casual, that have been treated as casual for years and years and years and can't make ends meet and feed their families properly or pay their rent or their mortgage? All of this is urgent. We've got a cost of living crisis. The people who are suffering are working people, not big business, that are campaigning against this and who have colluded with Senator Cash to try and delay this process. That's what they're doing. They're deliberately delaying it because they want to stop it, not because they want more time. They want more time to campaign against it. That's what this is about. Big business and the Liberal Party acting together to have more time to spend millions of dollars trying to stop working people get a wage increase.
You were just listening there to the ACTU's Michele O'Neil commenting after what we saw this morning in the Senate was essentially Labor losing control of its industrial relations changes. We saw the Independents' David Pocock and Jackie Lambie secure enough support to pass sections of the so-called closing loopholes bill that you heard Michele O'Neil talking about there. It meant that four non-controversial elements of the package have now passed through the upper house. That includes help for first responders with PTSD claim compensation, also protecting victims of domestic violence from discrimination. The government is reluctant to split the changes. It fears that it's never going to get support for the other proposals that it's put forward, like labour hire and casual conversion laws. The Crossbench has called on Labor to pass those elements in the House next week.
If that isn't passed by the lower house this year, then they will be denying those people the right to access that from January 1.
I'd expecting them to show some goodwill early next week and just get the job done. That's what you would do when it comes to domestic violence victims, those with PTSD, like I said.